Welcome back to our channel. Today, we'll show you how Stewart returned to The Daily Show and used his comedy and satire skills to roast Carlson and his interview with Putin, and also his reaction to Mary Trump's tweet. Jon Stewart is back on The Daily Show, and he's not holding back. The former host of the popular comedy show has returned as a guest every Monday until the 2024 election, and he's using his platform to call out the hypocrisy and propaganda of some of the most influential figures in the media. One of his targets is Tucker Carlson, the former Fox News host who recently traveled to Russia to interview Vladimir Putin. While other late-night hosts were off for President's Day, Jon Stewart once again resumed his chair at The Daily Show to defend his monologue about Joe Biden's age and talk Tucker Carlson's interview with Vladimir Putin. Jon Stewart opened his monologue on The Daily Show, his second since returning on Mondays through the election, to defend his first, in which he expressed voter concerns over Joe Biden's age and mental fitness for office. The bit drew heated criticism from some Democrats, such as the former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann, who called him a boffsidicist fraud on X, formerly Twitter. Carlson, who claims to be a journalist and a defender of free speech, spent his time in Moscow praising the city's infrastructure, sniffing bread, and fawning over Putin. Stewart, who has a long history of mocking Carlson, took aim at his performance in a hilarious and scathing monologue. Stewart exposed Carlson's lies about his job and duty, pointing out that he is not a journalist, but a propagandist who serves the interests of the powerful. He also mocked Carlson's fascination with Moscow's subway and grocery stores, suggesting that he was impressed by the most basic amenities. He joked that Carlson was so radicalized by the experience that he decided to bang the occasional sourdough as a free speech warrior. He also ridiculed Carlson's facial expression while talking to Putin, describing it as a mixture of shame, arousal, and irregularity. Stewart's monologue was not only funny, but also insightful. He showed how Carlson and other right-wing media personalities are willing to align themselves with authoritarian regimes like Russia, as long as they oppose the so-called woke agenda. He also demonstrated how satire can be a powerful tool to expose the absurdity and danger of such narratives. Stewart may not be the host of The Daily Show anymore, but he is still one of the most influential and respected voices in comedy and politics. Stewart's monologue was not well received by some viewers, especially by Mary Trump, the former president's niece and a vocal critic of his administration. Mary Trump, who wrote a best-selling book about her uncle and his family, took to X, formerly Twitter, to blast Stewart for his both sides bullshit and his potential disaster for democracy. She said that Stewart was helping her uncle by equating him with Biden, and that there was no comparison between them. She also wrote a newsletter titled Jon Stewart's Danger to Democracy, where she expanded on her position and accused Stewart of entering the twilight zone of boffsidicism. Stewart did not let Mary Trump's criticism go unanswered. In his next episode, he addressed her tweet and newsletter and made fun of them. He said that he was sorry for saying out loud what he saw with his eyes and his brain, and that he could do better. He also said that he guessed that the saying goes, "Democracy dies in discussion," referencing the slogan of the Washington Post, where Mary Trump has written opinion pieces. He then showed more clips of Biden and Trump and made more jokes about their age, their fitness, and their behavior. Stewart's response was not only funny, but also clever. He showed that he was not afraid to challenge and mock anyone, regardless of their political affiliation or their relation to the former president. He also showed that he was not trying to influence or persuade anyone, but to entertain and inform them. He also showed that he was aware of the stakes and the issues, but that he was also able to use humor and satire to cope and communicate. Stewart may not be the host of The Daily Show anymore, but he is still one of the most influential and respected voices in comedy and politics. Jon Stewart and Tucker Carlson are two of the most recognizable names in the American media landscape. They have both been in the spotlight for decades, but for very different reasons. Stewart is widely regarded as one of the most influential and successful comedians and satirists of his generation, who hosted The Daily Show for 16 years and won 22 Emmy Awards. Carlson is a controversial and polarizing figure who rose to fame as a conservative commentator and pundit who hosted shows on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, and who was known for his provocative and often inflammatory opinions. The two have clashed before, most famously in 2004, when Stewart appeared on Carlson's show Crossfire and accused him and his co-host of hurting America by engaging in partisan and sensationalist journalism. The confrontation was widely seen as a turning point for both Stewart and Carlson, as well as for the media industry as a whole. Stewart's criticism of Crossfire was credited with leading to the show's cancellation, while Carlson's reputation as a serious journalist was damaged. Now, almost 20 years later, the two have crossed paths again, but this time, the roles are reversed. Stewart, who retired from The Daily Show in 2015, has returned as a guest every Monday until the 2024 election, while Carlson, who left Fox News in 2023, has launched his own online media platform. Tucker Carlson today. Carlson recently traveled to Russia to interview Vladimir Putin, the president of one of America's biggest adversaries, and the result was a spectacle that Stewart could not resist mocking. In his return to The Daily Show, Stewart delivered a brilliant and biting monologue, in which he tore apart Carlson's interview with Putin and exposed his hypocrisy and propaganda. Stewart made several points and jokes that highlighted the flaws and absurdities of Carlson's show, such as: Carlson lied about his job and duty as a journalist. Stewart pointed out that Carlson introduced himself as a journalist and a truth-teller who was there to ask Putin hard questions. However, Stewart showed that Carlson did not challenge or fact-check any of Putin's claims, but instead agreed with him and praised him. Stewart said that Carlson was not a journalist, but a propagandist who was there to suck up to Putin and serve the interests of the powerful. Carlson praised Moscow's subway and grocery stores. Stewart mocked Carlson's fascination with the city's infrastructure, suggesting that he was impressed by the most basic amenities. Stewart said that Carlson acted like he had never seen a subway or a grocery store before, and that he was blown away by the fact that they had bread and cheese. Stewart joked that Carlson was so amazed by Moscow that he decided to bang the occasional sourdough as a free speech warrior. Carlson sniffed bread and claimed it radicalized him. Stewart showed a clip of Carlson sniffing a loaf of bread in a grocery store and then saying that it made him more Russian. Stewart said that Carlson was implying that bread was a symbol of Russian culture and identity, and that he was somehow influenced by it. Stewart joked that Carlson was radicalized by the bread, and that he was now a bread supremacist. Carlson had a submissive and constipated expression while talking to Putin. Stewart showed a clip of Carlson's facial expression while listening to Putin, and described it as a mixture of shame, arousal, and irregularity. Stewart said that Carlson looked like he was in love with Putin, but also like he was trying to hold in a fart. Stewart said that Carlson's expression revealed his true feelings and intentions, and that he was not there to confront Putin, but to submit to him. Stewart's monologue was not only hilarious, but also insightful and relevant. He showed how Carlson and other right-wing media personalities are willing to align themselves with authoritarian regimes like Russia, as long as they oppose the so-called woke agenda. He also demonstrated how satire can be a powerful tool to expose the absurdity and danger of such narratives. Stewart may not be the host of The Daily Show anymore, but he is still one of the most influential and respected voices in comedy and politics. Stewart's critique of Carlson and the media landscape is not only entertaining, but also important. It raises questions and challenges that we, as viewers and citizens, need to consider and address. How do we distinguish between journalism and propaganda? How do we hold the media accountable for their actions and impacts? How do we resist the influence of misinformation and manipulation? How do we use humor and satire to cope and communicate? These are some of the questions that Stewart invites us to think about and discuss. He also reminds us that we have the power and the responsibility to shape the media and the society that we want. As he said in his farewell to The Daily Show, the best defense against bullshit is vigilance. So if you smell something, say something. Jon Stewart and Tucker Carlson are two of the most famous and controversial media personalities in America. They have been at odds for decades, and their feud has reached a new level with Stewart's return to The Daily Show. Stewart has used his comedy and satire skills to roast Carlson and his interview with Putin, and to criticize both Biden and Trump as presidential candidates. Carlson has responded by defending himself and his show, and by attacking Stewart and his views. Marry Trump, The former president's niece and a vocal critic of his administration has also joined the fray by blasting Stewart for his both sides bullshit and his danger to democracy. Who is right and who is wrong in this battle of wits and wit? Is Stewart fair and balanced in his commentary, or is he helping Trump by equating him with Biden? Is Carlson a journalist and a truth-teller, or is he a propagandist and a sycophant? Is Mary Trump a credible and informed source, or is she biased and opportunistic? How do their arguments and jokes affect the media and the political discourse in the country and the world? These are some of the questions that we have explored in this video, where we have broken down Jon Stewart's epic monologue, Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin, and Mary Trump's tweet and newsletter. We have also shown you how Stewart responded to Mary Trump's criticism and how he defended his satire and commentary. We hope you have enjoyed this video and that you have learned something new and interesting. If you have, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to leave your comments and opinions below. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.